Okay, 49ers practice update. Not good. The 49ers just seemingly cannot catch a break with these injuries. Um, Number one, it started out with Curtis Robinson, one of the 49ers backup linebackers, was carted off with an apparent knee injury. Shortly after that, defensive tackle Jordan Elliott, that the 49ers signed from the Browns in the offseason, following Eric Armstead's departure to the Jacksonville Jaguars, was just carted off with a foot injury. This is like a disaster for the 49ers, right? Like, you lose Javon Hargrave for the remainder of the season with torn triceps, or a partially torn tricep, and now his backup, what would have been his backup, Jordan Elliott, who, number one, I was excited for, and I'm sure many other fans and really just the team in general was excited for, is now hurt. Obviously, we don't know the severity of the injury yet, but it doesn't look good, obviously, knowing that he was carted off. And yeah, I mean, the 49ers are already very thin at that position as is. And now with Jordan Elliott going down, they're going to have to sign somebody. I know Kalia Davis could be a guy that fills in the role eventually for losing Javon Hargrave, but this is disastrous. On the good side of things, George Kittle was back practicing out as a full participant this week for the first time. Or actually, sorry, no, this is Kittle's second full practice. I believe he was limited yesterday, though. But either way, George Kittle's back at practice. He seemingly is on track to play against the Patriots this upcoming week. Deebo Samuel was back at practice today, which is a very good sign. Kyle Shanahan initially thought that it would have been about 2 weeks for Deebo Samuel, coming off of the hamstring injury, or the calf strain, that he suffered in the Week 2 game versus the Minnesota Vikings. So Deebo could potentially be on track to play. I know Trent Williams was dealing with the sickness. He is back at practice as well. So they're getting some, good news, but it seems like, man, like every time they get good news, something bad happens. That's kind of been the theme of things for some time now. So really for the entirety of this season so far. So we'll have to wait on an update to see what's going on with Jordan Elliott. But that is a double whammy for the 49ers if he's hurt, in a pretty severe way. And it seems like, again, with him being carted off, it doesn't sound good, right? Like, obviously, we'll have to wait on like an official word on what happened, but again, that was going to be Javon Hargrave's replacement. And again, the Niners are already very thin there at defensive line, so just this season is just off to such a rough start. But at the end of the day, man, it's next man up. The Niners are going to have to find ways to win football games. This team is still a Super Bowl contender. They got to take it one game at a time and go from there. So, yeah, Jordan Elliott carted off of the practice field with a foot injury. Curtis Robinson, 49ers backup linebacker, carted off with an apparent knee injury. Yeah, again, good news. Deebo, Kittle, Trent Williams, all back at practice, and should be on track to play week 4 versus the New England Patriots. I think really I'm very confident in George Kittle playing. Deebo, that's kind of an up in the air thing. I could see him going into the game as questionable. Obviously, you don't want to rush him back from that injury. So we'll see what happens. But 49ers get good news and then immediately get bad news. And that seems kind of like the common theme for this season thus far.